What's up, YouTube? Devon Diggity here, and today we're gonna be talking. Yes, I have gameplay on in the background because I didn't want to just be staring at y'all talking, let y'all watch something while we talk. But in this first video slash episode series, I wanted to talk about the Pokemon trading card game and should they be making retro reprints. Now here's what I mean for that. So we have the trading card game here, and a new set comes out every 3 months. Everyone loves it, but a lot of people, especially with Corona, have been feeling that this format is pretty stale. You know, everyone's just playing ADP. What do we do? And I thought, what if, to solve this problem, Pokemon reprinted cards that were like from old sets? What I mean, like, a lot of people like playing the 2006 format, 2008 format, 2004, 2010, all those, right? But the cards for these are way too expensive actually going out and buying retro cards. And Pokemon doesn't have any support for it on PTCG Online. So to solve this problem, I was thinking what they could do is every month and a half of into a set like Darkness Ablaze, Vivid Voltage, whatever the new standard product is, about a month and a half in, when people start figuring out the format, people are kind of on if it's good or not. Like, people are kind of getting a little bored because they're just playing the same decks over and over again. What you do is you release one of these retro sets. You can start from base set or wherever they want to start, and they can reprint those retro cards into the game. Now, these cards wouldn't be standard, of course, because they would not really mesh well at all with the whole standard format. So you'd still have your new standard set come out every 3 months, and you would have this retro set coming out every 3 months, but it would just be on a 1.5 month cycle after the standard stuff. And what that would allow them to do was, with those retro sets, they could give us code cards. And with those code cards, that would be a way they could introduce people's retro collections on to the online card game, was still giving 3 months in between to be able to get stuff on the game, of course, figure it out, program, all this stuff. Now, you probably wouldn't be able to do this right away, of course. They probably have to get another team of people working on it. And I feel like, honestly, that's what the game needs, because especially with all this, like, a big internet, I want to say internet celebrity support of Pokemon booming right now, it seems that the game as a whole, in the direction they're taking with all this, is, what are people buying? They're buying all these old, expensive booster boxes to open and spending a lot of money on it. And Pokemon isn't really getting any of that money because it's basically all secondary market transactions. But everyone's really hyped about seeing all these old cards. They, like, we've lost this game, by the way. They see all these old cards, all the people, like, want to relive what brought them into the game. And Pokemon would give a great chance if they just made these retro sets to let everyone experience all these old formats that everyone talks about all the time. Because the cards are just so hard to get, and there is online options, but they're not for, like, your run-of-the-mill type players, basically. And I would think that it would benefit Pokemon because they're getting money from people wanting to buy these old cards and not just people on the secondary market. And concede, sorry, losing my train of thought. And yeah. And then what they could do is at regional events, how there's side events and stuff, just make a retro format tournament side event. You'd probably get more people wanting to play because they don't want to play the new standard stuff because they haven't played in a while. And it would still give people who have all these retro cards a reason to want to show up to events, travel, be a part of the community, and play with one another. if Pokemon gave some official prize support. And for the prize support for the retro tournaments, you could just give away some of the retro reprint sets. And I feel like that would make the whole game as a whole better because, first of all, everyone will be getting more access to all these cards that they could have not even grown up with. Some of these kids playing now that hear about all this retro stuff, want to start collecting and buying, have no idea what the format was about because they weren't even around during that time. And I feel like this wouldn't really take away that much from the new standard stuff because you'd still have all your big standard tournaments, all the hype coming out. Everyone wants to play with brand new stuff that hasn't been seen before, all your new mechanics. But I feel like it would be pushing the game to be overall better because right now I feel the game for actual players is suffering. Why? Because everyone is focused on collecting. And I'm not saying like for themselves. So many people are just focused on buying product just to flip it for a little extra money instead of really enjoying the game itself. And I feel like that's really bad for competitive players. Because if you look at this past set Champions Path, right? If you're an actual player and you want to play with those cards to see like what cool new decks come out, like because there's like Alcremie VMAX looked pretty cool to play, and there's some other like Gardevoir VMAX look kind of cool to play, but it's just so hard to get your hands on those cards because as soon as they're coming out, people are just buying everything because what do they want? They just want to pull a Charizard. And I feel like that is another problem we're getting into now, is that Pokemon is just throwing a Charizard in every single set just to sell. And if you're doing that, I feel like that is not good for the game at all. We should not be relying on just one chase card to booster the sales of product. I just feel like that's not a good this doesn't seem like that's a good I don't even know what to call it. A good, like, your game is not that healthy if that's what you're resorting to, basically, is what I'm trying to say. I feel like, anyway, from my perspective. And I feel like that we need to re-interest people in the game instead of just pushing to look for this Rainbow Charizard card, because whatever, it's a Charizard. I mean, yeah, it's a fan favorite Pokemon, but are the cards even that good? That's another thing. I had respect for the chase for the rain. I even chased for like the Rainbow Rare Charizard and Reshiram card, just because yeah, it was a cool card and people are selling it, woohoo. But also, it was a top deck in the game, and I feel like that's a lot different. No one's chasing the cards that are actually kind of good. All these people are just opening these boxes, just trying to chase Charizard, and I feel like that's where we're lacking in the game as a whole. I feel like people are giving a lot of support and money into the game right now because they're all hunting for these Charizards. But what is that really doing for us? This dude had double intelligent VMAX. GG, buddy. We'll give him the win. I don't know. Those are just some of my points that I've been thinking about, and I've been thinking about how we can make the whole game and community better right now with not really any events to go to and travel to. I know they're doing the Players Cup thing. The team challenge does seem kind of interesting. Well, I think we should make a video looking at that. But I just feel like these are some of the issues I'm really having as the game right now because I've played this game since I was like 4 or 5. I really enjoy playing it. I've collected the cards for a long time, but I just feel like right now the game is becoming kind of stale, especially with everyone just complaining about this card right here in the ADP meta and how there's a reprint of Cosmic Eclipse that was just announced and all this other stuff so people can get their hands on this card right here. But it's just pushing for this card, that leads into another problem where I feel like the game is just becoming too fast. Like, it's not enjoyable. Like, you see some of these turns, like, it's either you get set up quick or you don't and you lose. Like, there's not that much of, like, a back and forth kind of tempo here in the game. And I feel like that is something that the game is also struggling with, is because these Pokemon are just becoming too big, too powerful, and they're not giving us enough support for the... That was a nice flip of the Turbo Patch there. They're not giving us enough support for, like, the basic Pokemon. Like, not not like basics like Torkoal V, but like what's a good example? Like stage 1, stage 2, those kinds of decks. One prize decks, that's not basic. One prize decks. They're not giving us enough support for those. And I feel like that is a real issue because the metagame is just becoming into this quick mess of just speed, and I feel like it kind of makes the game kind of boring because you're just sitting here trying to set up faster than your opponent rather than really like thinking out your plays and having to outskill your opponent, if that makes sense. And I get they printed ADP. There's nothing you can do about it. They printed the card. It's a great card. I've used it. It's fun. Getting an extra prize, and you can kind of use it with some one prize decks to make it kind of interesting. I know the other video on my channel with ADP and Teleon, that deck was pretty fun to play. Of course, it's not like tier 1 or anything, but it is something fun if you want to have spice with. But I just feel that the way the game is going, it just doesn't seem healthy to me. I don't know if that's the feeling y'all get. Maybe y'all think it's great. Everything's booming right now. The community is coming more together. And that's fine. If you guys have that opinion, I'm not going to sit here argue, think you're wrong or anything. I mean, I just want this to be an open discussion because in the end, I just want the game to get better. And because I love this game. I love playing this game. I haven't been able to do it that much of late just because I've been working and other things, but now I'm really trying to start my YouTube grind again because I feel like I have been welder, that's kind of good, but we don't have anything to welder to. I guess we can welder to Volcanian here. I'm starting the YouTube grind again because I do want to start playing again because I do really like this game. It is a game that I've grown up with and I don't see myself stopping playing it anytime soon. But I just feel like there's some things that could maybe be fixed or reintroduce good reintroduce older ideas into the game because I feel like what people would love to play. I feel like right now at least the community has a real spot for retro and that they could really do something if they reintroduce those cards and let people play those formats because I would kill to go back and play like Diamond and Pearl format like 2010, 2011, 2009. Like those were like the peak when I was a kid of playing Pokemon and I loved those formats so much. And if I could go back to playing that, like you're trading, like you have to take 6 prize cards, you got your level X's, and I just feel like it was a lot of fun, and I miss that. And finally, the last point I would say is I feel like there's always going to be a meta, don't get me wrong. There is always 100% going to be a meta. But I just feel like they should try and make it so we can have as much variety as possible in a meta. Because... Oh, so you can't attach a GX. That's good to know. Oh, I need to... I haven't played this deck really, so that probably makes sense of what I needed to do. Unfortunate. Oh, he's doing 260. I forgot he knocked out the den and he had the ADP buff. Tragic. Yeah, I feel like there needs to be more variety in the meta of top decks that are doing well. I think if you have a meta where there's like 5 or 6 different decks that are all up there, tier 1 that could beat each other, that is a good starting point. Of course, like there will always be the rogue decks that come in, and that's really what makes it fun. But if you have to plan for like 6 different decks versus just 2 different decks, I feel like that in itself will test people's ability and I don't know, change things up a bit. With that being said, thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please leave a like. Really helps me out. And comment down below what you guys think. I really want to know. I just want this to be a discussion of points about the game in general, and hopefully that maybe if we figure some cool things out, we can make a video or support and write in to Pokemon, get some of these videos blown up. If it's not by me, get it from a bigger YouTuber out there, so our voice is heard to with our ideas, because I feel like some of these ideas could be really good for the game and would benefit everyone who's trying to play. And would also help update this online, because I feel like the people really want updates for this online as we're going against another ADP. And that will make everything better, because everyone will be getting updates, the game will be more healthy, people will be willing to spend more on the game, and all in all, I feel like it would turn out better for everyone. So thanks for watching, guys, and YouTube, we'll see you later.